The Old Man and the Sea, Part 3. The Young Man Talking. Can I go out and get sardines for you tomorrow? No. Go play basketball. Sorry, baseball. I can still row, and Rogelio will throw the net. I would like to go. If I cannot fish with you, I would like to serve in some way. You bought me a beer, the old man said. You are already a man. How old was I when you first took me in a boat? 5, and you nearly were killed when I brought the fish in too green, and he nearly tore the boat to pieces. Can you remember? Okay, here there is something that it's kind of hard, even if you use the dictionary. So the boy was 5 years old when he started fishing with the old man. That's pretty simple. But the boy was nearly killed because the old man brought in the fish too green. Okay, what does it mean, too green? Keep in mind, guys, that green would be the opposite of ripe when we talk about fruits, right? So he brought the fish and the fish was not ripe yet. Okay, so if we extend that meaning a little bit, we'll get to the sense of he brought the fish when the fish was not ready. Much better to understand. Now we just have to try to imagine what would that be, being ready to be brought in. Okay, so let's try to imagine how would it be possible to fish something as big as they would fish, you know? Remember from the last video, we saw that some guys, it would take 4 guys, you know, carrying 2 planks, you know, and they would be staggering because the weight of the fish was too heavy, right? So remember, you are on a skiff, you don't have a big equipment, so what are you going to do? So you're going to hook the fish, and once the fish has bitten the bait, you're not just going to bring the fish in, all right? The fish has too much energy, so what are you going to do? Your job will be to tire the fish. You have to tire the fish, right? How can you get the fish tired, right? So you, of course, there will be lots of techniques. Of course, we will see that later on in the book. No spoilers, but we will see it. But you can try to hold the line, right? But on the other hand, you cannot hold the line so much, because if the line gets into the breaking point, it will snap and then you will lose the fish. So you give the fish some line and then bring some line in and then give the fish line again until the fish start getting more and more tired. And as the fish got more and more tired, you would be able to bring the fish closer and closer to the surface and to your boat. Remember, that's how the old man got his scars, the creases, right, on the palm of his hand, because he would have to deal with the line, and the line, of course, would hurt his hand. Okay, so now let's imagine the fish is already pretty close to the boat, and you can already see the fish beside the boat, right? Or the fish is circling the boat, and in one of those circles the fish is close enough, you get the fish and you bring it to the boat. If the fish has enough energy, the fish is going to give you a lot of trouble, okay? And it's going to be hitting around and breaking stuff, and we will see exactly that, right? So what should the old man have probably done? He should have let the fish circle some more times, maybe club the fish while the fish was in the water, if it was possible, and then he should have brought the fish in, okay? So the boy was 5, going back. 5, and you nearly were killed when I brought the fish in too green, and he nearly tore the boat to pieces. Can you remember? I can remember the tail slapping and banging, and the thwart breaking, and the noise of the clubbing. Clubbing, so the old man had a club, like a bat, right? And the old man was clubbing the fish in the head, probably, in order to kill it. I can remember you throwing me into the bow where the wet coiled lines were, and feeling the whole boat shiver, shake, and the noise of the clubbing, and the noise of you clubbing him like chopping a tree down, and the sweet blood smell all over me. Okay, thwart, guys, is like the seat you have on a skiff, right? That it's a kind of plank of wood across the boat. When you club, you hit with a club. Remember coiled lines. We've seen coiled in the first video, like a coiled snake, right? Boats have two parts. I mean, many parts, but boats have the bow, the front part, and the stern, which is the back part. Be careful, guys, with the pronunciation of bow, because we have the exact same word, B-O-W, that we read bow. Like if you have one of those butterfly ties, you don't have a butterfly ties, you have a bow tie, the one you wear with a tuxedo, or if you are mini, you wear a bow on your head, okay? But if we're talking about the part of the boat, then it's bow. And by the way, there is also the verb when you greet a person like a Japanese, you bow to the person. Apparently, if anybody has information on that, please let me know on the comments. But apparently, the angle you bow in Japanese will depend on how much respect you have to pay to that person. So if it's a person that it's far superior, then you should bow a lot. And if it's a person that is almost in your level, then you should bow a little. That's my guess. It's just something that came to my head. If anybody knows, please let me know. I won't search now. I have a lot to do. I have to read a book. Okay, so I can remember you throwing me into the bow where wet coils, and then he remembers the skiff shaking, right? Shivering. And the noise of the old man clubbing the fish, so it would toop, 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 would be just like the noise of somebody trying to chop down a tree. It's a nice image, right? Going back to the old man. Can you really remember that, or did I just tell it to you? I remember everything from when we first went together. The old man looked at him with his sunburned, confident, loving eyes. If you were my boy, I'd take you out and gamble, he said. But you are your father's and your mother's, and you are in a lucky boat. Okay, gamble here, guys. Gamble is when you play for money, okay? If I go to Vegas, probably I'll have to gamble and to watch, I don't know, strippers. You have to do. Maybe, guys, the old man is referring to the fact that going fishing now and catching a fish, for him it's like gambling, right? And the old man would take the boy with him just to see if they can be lucky, right? But the young man, the boy, already has a certain thing. He doesn't need to gamble, right? And of course he has to obey his parents. Again to the boy. May I get the sardines? I know where I can get 4 baits too. Bait is what you use to catch the fish as like the attraction, right? By the way, you can use it figuratively when you're talking about a bait product. For example, Mufato is selling, I don't know, a carton of milk for 1 real. Why? Probably they won't get any profit from that, right? It's a bait product. So you go there to buy milk and you end up buying, 400 reals of chocolate and junk food. I know where I can get 4 baits too. I have mine left from today. I put them in salt in the box. Let me get 4 fresh ones. 1, the old man said. His hope and his confidence had never gone, but now they were freshening as when the breeze rises. 2, the boy said. 2, the old man agreed. You didn't steal them? I would, the boy said, but I bought these. Thank you. the old man said. He was too simple to wonder when he had attained humility. But he knew he had attained it, and he knew it was not disgraceful, and it carried no loss of true pride. Well, two very important things here. First, the old man doesn't need to know how to explain stuff in order to do stuff. Let me put it in other words. Morally speaking, I don't know if you will, philosophically speaking, he doesn't need to have a theory in order to know what's right. Okay? Of course, there's this specific question of pride here, and we'll get to that point. But I think that's something very important. All right? I had the same sensation in the other. There's another book by Hemingway called "For Whom the Bell Tolls." You know, it's about war, the Spanish War, if I'm not wrong. And the fact is, the characters created by Hemingway are not talkers; they are doers. You know, and you know, it's like, I guess a Hemingway character would have, you know, there would be something in front of him to do and a decision to make, and he would just look at himself, you know, and think that's the right thing to do, and he would do it. Instead of, okay, but based in what kind of moral theory I'm going to create the arguments to think this is the proper thing to do, okay? The old man is very simple. He wouldn't know how to discuss with anybody, you know, but he has his certainties, and his certainties are silent certainties. His certainties are deep inside of him, and that's it, period. Okay? For example, we have this nice idea when we talk about true pride. Okay? Well, if he's talking about true pride, there must be false pride. Okay? And apparently, throughout the years, the old man attained the ability to differentiate between true pride and false pride. Okay? And by attaining that, he attained humility. Okay? So, just to put it in certain terms, we could think about a person who has no pride at all, in Hemingway's term, right? So let's imagine a person going through a difficult period. This person would start complaining, this person would start whining, you know, like a dog crying, like, This person would start blaming other people, you know, oh, it's because my parents didn't give me enough attention, it's because, you know, society is cruel, it's because, okay, in the old man's opinion, of course, guys, I'm almost over-interpreting the book, right? But that's his character. If you read it with lots of attention, that's his character. That's a person with no pride at all. That's shameful. Okay? That's shameful. You should take control of your life. You should take responsibilities for the fights you have. Oh, but some other people don't have that kind of fight, you know? Some other people have it easy. Some other people have their parents who are rich or whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay? For the old man, it would, I don't know, he would look at you and say, be a man. Okay? Or if you are a woman, be a woman. Okay? Have true pride. Have pride. But let's imagine the old man, when he was young, he had the exact same posture in relation to life, but with an exaggeration there. You know, like when you, I don't know, let's imagine my parents were doctors and I want to be an excellent doctor, so I study everything I can. So I take the responsibility into my hand. I don't think that it's my parents' responsibility to get me a good job, right? So I take the responsibility in my hand because I have pride. And then I'm a top student in my class, and my parents know a guy that is a manager in a hospital, and this guy that is the manager there needs a very good doctor, and they want to recommend me. And I say, of course I won't go there, because I won't get my chances in life because my parents gave my chances to me. I'll get my chances by myself. That would be the old man's personality when he was young. That's too much pride, you know. There's no shame in accepting help if you're doing your part, you know. You have studied everything you could. You have become a good doctor. So that's an exaggeration of pride, okay? So what the old man has learned throughout his life is to differentiate. No pride at all. I imagine he was never like that, but exaggerated pride and true pride. Think about it. He is not sitting in his house, right? And he's not just complaining. He's not saying, "Oh, I'm so old, you know. People should help me, you know. It's their responsibility to help." He's not doing that. So he has not lost his pride, right? He's not going to look at the young man and say, "Look, I have taught you everything you know, so you have the responsibility to take care of me. You have to leave that other fisherman, and you have to disobey your parents, and you have to help me." He's not doing that. For the old man, that would be losing pride. But he's not being like over proud, you know, not even accepting, you know, some help as the young man is doing now. Think about it, guys. To find the parameters, where would it be accepting too much help, too little? Where would it be too much pride? You know, that would be a question that if we put in theory, I don't know, we could spend like books and books and books trying to imagine, you know, a set of rules where true pride would be lost and the occasion where true pride wouldn't, okay? The old man doesn't know anything about that, but he feels. He just pays attention and he knows this is wrong. It's wrong to ask the boy to work with me when he has another boat. And then he looks at the boy again and say, and says to himself, this is right. He's helping me, and it's okay to receive help. Okay. Okay. So look, but he knew he had attained it, right? That is humility, and he knew it was no disgraceful, and it